RBI ద్రవ్య పరపతి విధాన సమీక్ష జరిగింది. ఈ సమీక్షలో తీసుకున్న నిర్ణయాలపై RBI గవర్నర్ శక్తికాంత దాస్ వెల్లడించారు. ఈ సందర్భంగా కీలక వడ్డీ రేట్లలో మార్పులు చేయలేదని స్పష్టం చేశారు. రెపో రేట్ సైతం 4% ఉంచినట్లు RBI గవర్నర్ తెలిపారు. ప్రస్తుతం ఆర్థిక సంవత్సరం 2022-23లో ఆర్థిక వృద్ధి రేటు 7.2% ఉంటుందని అంచనా వేశారు. మొదటి త్రైమాసికంలో వృద్ధి రేటు 16.2%, రెండవ త్రైమాసికంలో 6.2%గా ఉండనుంది. ఇక సెకండ్ అడ్వాన్స్డ్ అంచనాల ప్రకారం ఫైనాన్షియల్ ఇయర్ 2022లో జీడీపీ వృద్ధి 8.9%గా నిర్ణయించబడిందని RBI గవర్నర్ శక్తికాంత దాస్ అన్నారు.
There are 7 things from the monetary policy point of view. There are 7 things which we have done, and which I think it is all there in the statement at various places, but I am just putting them together. The first is that we have revised our inflation and growth projections. And if you look at the inflation projections in particular, which I think which would attract a lot of attention. If you look at the inflation projections, primarily the projections have been revised upwards due to war-induced factors. The primary reasons are the crude oil having gone up to 100, it went to 130 as I had mentioned, then they have moderated, but we have assumed a price of $100 per barrel. So that is the most important reason. And among the other major reasons, the price of edible oil, which is again, edible oil prices have steepened. Again, that's due to war-related factors. I've spelled out the details in the statement. I don't want to again go into that. Edible oil, prices of wheat also have gone up because that is related to war. And the feed cost, which feeds into the prices of poultry, egg, and dairy products. So these are the major factors for, which account for the upward revision of the inflation. So inflation and growth projections have been revised. That's the first point. The second point is that in the sequence of priorities, we have now put inflation before growth. So that is the sequence of our priorities. First is inflation, followed by growth. For last 3 years, starting February 2019, if you remember, we had put growth ahead of inflation in the sequence. This time we have revised that because we thought that the time is appropriate and that is something which needs to be done. That was the second point. The third point is that the stance continues to be accommodative while focusing on withdrawal of accommodation. So we are gradually therefore moving away from the accommodation, which has been again, which has been there for more than 2 years. In fact, somewhere in the middle of 2019, we had switched over from neutral to accommodation. The fourth point is that the LAF corridor has been normalized. The corridor is now 50 basis points, 25 basis points on either side of the policy repo rate, which is at 4%. The fifth point is that SDF has been introduced, and SDF will now be the bottom of the corridor. The sixth point is that we have said with regard to liquidity, the liquidity withdrawal will be done in a multi-year time frame. We have mentioned multi-year time frame after very carefully weighing what would be the economic cost of withdrawal of liquidity and what would be necessary keeping in mind the stance of monetary policy. So the liquidity policy, the liquidity withdrawal will be taking these two factors into account. We have said it will be done on a multi-year time frame, and a multi-year is obviously more than 1 year. So it can be 2 years, it can be 3 years. That will depend on the evolving situation. If there are questions, we would like to elaborate upon it later on. And the seventh point is that I have said in the statement that the situation is dynamic and fast changing, and all our actions will be tailored accordingly. situation is really fast changing. Between February and now, you know, you saw how many, what kind of developments, what kind of tectonic shifts, that is the word I have used in my statement, what kind of tectonic shifts have happened all over the globe. So I will stop here. These were some of the initial remarks which I thought to just put into perspective what is there in various parts of my statement. Thank you.